Boston Radio. The views and opinions expressed on Acoustic Sundays are the views and opinions of the on-air personalities only. These views do not reflect those of Suffolk University, Suffolk Free Radio, or those of the Student Leadership and Involvement Office. Welcome back to Acoustic Sundays. I am joined today by Planet Mercury. If you guys want to introduce yourselves. Hello. Names, instruments.
Michaela, I play guitar.
I'm Jerry, I play guitar, and I'm the vocalist.
I'm Mike, I play the drums.
I'm Pat, I play bass.
Awesome. And we are going to chat a little bit about what you guys have coming up, what you've done so far, where you've gone as a band, and just about you guys personally. So
Sure.
Why don't we start where Planet Mercury began? So, like, how did it begin? I know it was a funny story because I follow you guys on Instagram.
Yes. So I think the time that we all got together, we were all kind of looking for a band to be in. So I've been in and out of bands for a while, so I posted an ad on Craigslist. I was that desperate, and
what was the ad like pertaining? What did it say?
So basically, like, I have a practice space at my house and all that stuff, so I had pictures of that on my Craigslist ad, and basically just like, I have a YouTube channel, I sing, I play guitar, and I'm looking for members to just, start a group with.
And I promise I won't kill you.
Yeah, and I promise I'm not a stabby person. I'm very nice. Yeah, so I think it took like a week or so. Pat actually found my ad on Craigslist, but you guys were in you were trying to start a group before.
Also met on Craigslist, me and Michaela.
You were also on Craigslist.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was such young people like hanging out on Craigslist.
We were the only ones.
We
Yeah.
found each other. That's beautiful.
This thing, I think we had all been in like bands that just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So we were desperate. Went to
Yeah.
Craigslist.
We were so used to working with unfocused people,
Yeah.
which can be tough when you're trying to play gigs and stuff like that, and whether it be a vocalist not remembering the words or spending too much time at the bar, whatever it is. We all kind of ran into the same issues in our previous band, so this was kind of a breath of fresh air when we met.
That's awesome.
But it could have gone the other way because we are literally a Craigslist band. So yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty cool story. I feel like there's not that many bands like our age that are on Craigslist in the first place, and let alone finding people to play music with. Did you guys when you first met up, did you have the same music vision, or did you kind of find it as you were practicing and talking?
Yeah, for the most part, we were influenced by some of the similar bands. That helped out in the early start of our band, because we all love Green Day. Like, that's a big influence of ours. So we kind of chose some Green Day songs to cover, and that helped us find our footing as a band, because we all like the same music. So and then we started writing originals right off the bat. So as soon as we had the chemistry and we knew kind of where we were all coming from, that's when we started writing our own music. So.
For writing your own music, do you guys do it collectively, or is there one person that kind of like leads that? Kayla?
Usually Jerry and I will write like the base of the song, and then it's never usually a finished product when we bring it to practice, and then we all kind of give our 2 cents, and it kind of crafts into more of like a group effort. And I think it's better that way. That way everybody is getting their little piece of it in there. It's not just one person's song. He writes the bulk of the lyrics, but essentially the music is like a collaborative effort. This is very awesome.
You didn't see it. That's a good move, right?
I mean, that's pretty sweet. I think you're right. You're really like kind of put pieces together. Now you're like one collective, even though you did meet on Craigslist, right?
Yes.
Would you say like you're all friends now?
Me and Pat actually have been friends since freshman year of high school. Oh, college. Sorry. 4, not 8. My bad. But no, because we lived in the same dorm, we would hang out. And then when we met on Craigslist, he messaged me and was just like, "Hey, band?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And
You had recently been in a band.
Yeah, I was in a band before Everything or Nothing in Rhode Island. But I had been out of it for like a year, and I was losing my mind because I had nothing else to do with my life. So, but it's fun. We are a very strange group of people, and it's good because all of us are strange, so we can be strange together. But we are very weird.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So you guys go to school together.
Yeah.
Where do you go to school?
Holy Cross.
Holy Cross.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys go to school, or are you kind of hanging out?
Yeah, we were
Just chilling. You're working. Hanging out. That's pretty cool though. So for gigs and stuff, because you guys say that you're like kind of serious into your music and everything like that.
Mhm.
So how do you go about finding your gigs? Do people find you? Do you reach out?
A little bit of both, I think. We've been asked. We've played like backyards. We've played basements, and we've played like real like venues. Like it's kind of weird. I don't know how these things happen to us, but like we played Paradise Rock Club over the summer, but we've also played like in like strange backyards.
Played at my house.
Like it's just from one end of the spectrum to the other. But like, I mean, everyone is a good experience, and you have to learn something from every gig. So I mean, I don't regret any of them really.
You like playing gigs then?
Oh yeah.
Is that like your favorite part of the band?
I would say yeah, because you get to meet new people and things like that. That's honestly probably the best part, in my opinion. You just meet new faces, new friends, which is just really cool. So, yeah.
Playing the Paradise Rock Club is kind of huge. That's really big. How was that experience?
How was it?
Yeah, it was fun. So this was like a part of our time where Mike had actually had an injury with his back. So we didn't have any drums at the time, so we were just doing acoustic gigs. And Pat, if you want to like tell the story of how we actually got that gig, because it's like the planets aligned, like it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, so there's this country band that has a residency at a like a bar in South Boston, and I was at the bar one time and watching them, and I was with my cousin at the time during watching one of their sets, and the guy comes up to me and goes, "Oh, you're playing a Mercury?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "We need a band to open this for Paradise Rock Club. Would you guys want to do an acoustic set?" And I was like,
"Yep, perfect. Yes."
Yeah.
And he's a great guy, Scully. He's really awesome. So
yeah,
it was really he honestly did us a favor by letting us play that, because we had only been a band for maybe a little less than a year at that point. So yeah. So
and then we played New York City the day after that. They drove from Paradise straight to New York City.
Yeah,
and played a show, and then straight home.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was a great weekend though. That was a lot of fun.
Jerry lost his mind for a little while.
Yeah, so I drove from Boston. We played the gig in Boston at Paradise. We went to New York, and then I drove you back to your house in Boston. But then I had a shift at work at like 9 in the morning, so I was just like a corpse. Yeah, it was a good time though. It was a cool experience.
You ordered a large. What was it?
Yeah, I ordered a large macchiato in New York. And I just straight one shot in it.
Yeah, literally chugged a gallon of milk.
Yeah, though.
Didn't mix it or anything. It was like completely like 2 different layers, and just down there.
It was gone. Yeah, for real. But
I mean, that's pretty cool. So you guys have gig experience, and you have recording experience as well, because you have released quite a few songs now. And like, would you call it an EP? And pronounce Enoya for me. I got it, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the making of Enoya.
Sure.
And where you got the name for that, because I kind of Googled it because I had no idea what it meant.
Yes, yeah. So the word eunoia, it basically means like when someone is like clear of all negative thought, or very clear-minded. And that's kind of what the theme of the songs on that album are. And even the new stuff that we have like coming out in the future is basically just trying to get people to think in a different way about just everyday common things like social media, just every stuff that's a part of everybody's lives today. So we thought that was a word that represented the music pretty well.
Oh, it's a cool word.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people don't know how to pronounce it, and you nailed it. So, but yeah, so we decided. Yeah, so we basically decided that would be the best term for the album, and it ended up being a song title as well for it. So
yeah, so you made the first EP.
Yep.
And that was about when on the timeline, I think?
About a year ago. It was October, right? We were in the studio in October last
year. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
We wrote it. I think we started ready when we first in like July got together in July. Yeah. And by the 3rd month of us being a band, we had all 4 of those songs written, because we just sat down and they kind of just came out. And that's, I mean, it sounds like it a lot. Like they sound like
they flow into one another.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a really well wrapped together album, I think.
No, I agree. I've listened to the entire thing a few times. And it's fantastic. I actually really do like it. And I do see what you mean where kind of it has like remnants of Green Day a little bit, Yep. But it's kind of got a little bit more like modern day rocky to it.
Right.
I really like it. But you guys never play gigs near me, so do you want to fix that?
Yeah.
I live in Boston now, but
we will play Boston.
thank you. Come to my apartment. It's a 1-bedroom.
No show.
Yeah,
I love those shows.
You can play in my kitchen.
Don't jump the wall.
I think my landlord was it. I'm a fish, so I don't know. But let's move on to, you guys did an acoustic album after that.
Yes.
So what made you, was it the gig that you did at the Paradise Rock Club that made you want to do that, or?
Oh, I think we recorded it before Paradise.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's what he saw.
Yeah, Dylan had listened to that, and he was like, "Oh, this is cool."
So basically, with Mike's back injury that occurred, we kind of had to find another way to stay active because we didn't want to lose steam.
I was out.
Right.
I was out for
Yeah.
oh god, was it like 4 months I was down
my
for a while?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, just to stay active, we were like, what can we do? And then at Holy Cross, where these guys go to school, they have a studio they can rent out. And I do a little bit of recording on the side, as well as Pat. And we just decided to kind of release acoustic versions of the 4 songs that we did on Noia, because they translated pretty well to acoustic. So that was just kind of an extra release. We released it for free, and just to kind of like have more stuff out for people. But that's kind of where that came from.
I mean, it works really well for this today, and it works really well for the Paradise too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. And you guys go to Holy Cross. Do you study anything related to music, or?
I study music.
I study music. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, there's no really like specific things, just general music.
General music.
I tried when I went to college. I tried to be a music major. Ended up switching to English, but I still take music classes.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at the theory. I'm a drummer, man. I tried.
Yeah.
And you guys see music as like your future, like that's like the end goal. You want to be a band.
I would very much like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Do you think Planet Mercury could like? You guys have like a lot of steam still. Like you're still kind of going.
More than we thought we would at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
we keep having stuff happening going.
Yeah.
Like with the Paradise thing, the guy asked us to play. We're like, really?
And he recognized you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing. It's like people recognize our band from either social media because Pat's dad is a monster.
Oh yeah, that's a bad dad. Yeah.
Well,
Was it your dad that I was chatting with on
we have
DM?
this is a story. This is a story. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just people for some reason have always just been drawn to us and liked us.
Yeah.
And I mean, we appreciate it. We love it. We don't need to know why. We write music that we think is good, man.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's the fact that it just came out of nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
Like it was almost like experimental. When we started, we were trying to find our footing. Everything happened really fast. Like we met at Craigslist and then 4 songs immediately. We went in the studio.
Yeah.
But then the social media thing, it just kind of like skyrocketed. Like just people who randomly follow us for some reason. Yeah. Super appreciative of it though. We just didn't expect for it to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Would you say social media is like the main reason why you guys are propelled?
Oh yeah.
Kind of,
I
because
think
you are
so.
very active on your Instagram, and you constantly do raffles, and you constantly do competitions and things like that.
Yep.
Do you think that's like a very important way to grow your band?
Yeah, I think like we notice a lot of bands kind of don't have any social media
Right.
presence, or they have very little social media presence, and so like we're kind of like, well, how do we get noticed? How do we get the word out about our band more? So that's how we're more active on that, just to get the word out.
Right.
And people like it. I mean, it's just fun when we do raffles because the people get really into it, and all of our fans are really fun. And we have random people who, for some reason, just think it's the most fun thing in the world to get a Shrek mask from us that Jerry wore on stage.
Like it's not creepy to them.
Yeah.
Like it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I would have burned it. We were gonna burn the mask, but then they wanted it. So hey.
And it gets you kind of like a little bit of clout on social media too.
Yeah. We're that band that has the barn and gives people Shrek masks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I knew you guys, because the shark mask. So and all the competitions and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk like individually. So Michaela, you play guitar. And how did you start with guitar?
I started actually playing piano when I was like 5, and my brother played the guitar, and I was the jealous little sister, so I wanted to play the guitar. So I didn't actually start playing until I was like 11 or 12. So I feel like I kind of got a late start, but like basically I would just listen to like bands that I liked and learn how to play the songs. And
Yeah.
that's like I never had any like proper training or anything, and it probably shows. But like
No,
I just
you're a fantastic guitarist.
so yeah, that's basically I just learned how to play other songs and then like learned like what they were doing and
Yeah.
like so that's what this is. You know what I mean?
What was the first
So-
song that you learned?
Oh man.
Oh, geez.
Oh, man.
One of the first like few songs, I guess. Like the
Probably
bands.
a Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Yeah.
I adore the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So and their songs are like
Even their new stuff. You still like it?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the whole thing.
A true loyal fan. That's good. You didn't even leave him behind. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just learned their songs
Yeah.
and then figure out the rest from there.
That's pretty cool. Okay. So Jerry,
Yes.
you also play guitar.
I do,
And you're a
yes.
vocalist.
Yes.
So which did you start with first?
Guitar.
Okay.
Yep. So when I started learning guitar, it was kind of when the craze of Guitar Hero was a
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like that era of video games was a thing. My father plays guitar as well, so my whole childhood I kind of listened to him play. Like he has like a 12-string acoustic guitar. Surprisingly, no. Yeah. So I kind of grew up watching him play guitar, and then when Guitar Hero was out and all this stuff, and I just thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And I had like a really kind of like low-end electric guitar that they bought me one year, so I just picked it up and I just started playing it, and I just really started loving it.
Right.
So I started out with a lot of classic rock songs because I like the lead guitar in those. I started out like as most kids like with Smoke on the Water and Sunshine of Your Love was like one, but it was just so motivating because you're learning these songs and it sounds exactly like it.
Yeah.
It just makes you want to play more and more.
Right.
So yeah, I think I started in like 7th grade and I just kept learning different parts of songs. So yeah.
So similar to you, just kind of like picked up right off the bat. Post Malone actually has a similar story of how
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he learned how to play guitar through Guitar Hero.
Yeah. It was just cool to see, and it made you want to play real guitar. So yeah.
Okay, sweet. Now, Mike.
So I've been playing drums since my freshman year of high school, I think. So 8 years now. Oh God. But yeah, so my dad made the horrible mistake of getting me a drum set when I was a freshman. So that's what I did. I loved playing, so I would just practice all the time. No, I've never really had a lesson. I used to watch YouTube videos like Luke Holland and Kobus and stuff like that, just drum playthroughs of songs, and I would just try to replicate everything they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just how I learned to pick up everything. And then when I was a sophomore or junior in high school, me and my good friend Tom, we went to a concert in Rhode Island at the Met and watched the band Trophy Wives. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They were a band.
Trophy Wives?
Yeah, do you know them?
Yeah, I know Trophy
Yeah,
Wives.
I'm really good friends with those guys.
Oh, I didn't know they're from Rhode Island.
Yeah, they're from Providence.
Oh.
Feedback. Oh no.
Wow.
But yeah, so we watched them play a show and we were like, okay, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So that's when I started my last band, and then 2 years later, now here I am. We're here and still playing somehow.
I mean, that's also like, so you guys are all self-taught.
Yes.
Don't break the cycle. Like, are you?
Right, actually. So in 6th grade, my teacher gave us an assignment to turn a poem into something other than a poem, and I got a bass at some point. I don't know when my parents bought it for me. And my friend had a guitar, so we're like, oh, like let's turn it into a song. So we kind of just figured out how to play the song to the tune of Brains Do by Green Day. So we played the song, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It was the Raven by...
Oh, I got it. To Brains Do? Yo, we're gonna bring that back.
Cool. So then after that, I was like, oh, this is fun. So I started taking lessons at the Boys and Girls Club in Dorchester.
Okay.
So
Nice.
So he is not self-taught.
no.
That's okay. You made a Brains Do poem out of
Raven
the
by Andrew Allen.
Awesome.
Okay, so like that's pretty cool. I think all of you guys have like pretty interesting stories, especially if you wanted to play the Raven today. We do have a live set for everyone who's watching at home. We do have a live set after this where we're going to play a few songs. But for now, let's just keep rolling, you know. How about we do like favorite movies? Because like we've been talking a little bit on music, but I'm a big movie buff. So or favorite movies are like what you're watching on Netflix right now.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's easier. Yeah.
All right. So Netflix right now, because I can't think of a single movie. I'm like in between Shameless and Grey's Anatomy right now, so like my life is basically over when I'm not at work or doing this. So yeah.
Shameless is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Are you up to date? Are you still?
No, I'm on
Catching
like
up.
season 6 or something like
So
that.
good,
So yeah.
Even though no matter how many seasons, they keep getting better.
I know.
You
I
should
know.
try Grey's Anatomy.
It's too addicting.
See, I can never get into Grey's Anatomy. It's
What?
blood.
I do surgery at work, so like it's my niche.
What do you do for work?
I'm a vet tech, so I
Oh my
do like
God.
animal surgery. So,
Oh my God.
blood is my thing.
That's weird. That's weird to say. That was the scariest thing I've ever heard.
That's a pretty cool job, though. Okay, Grey's Anatomy and Shameless. Jerry?
For me, my favorite movie is Forrest Gump.
Okay.
I just absolutely love that movie. I think it's. I know. I've talked to you about it before. I just think it teaches you a lot about being a good person. I think there's a lot to learn from that movie. So it would be between Forrest Gump and Coco. I saw Coco.
Oh God.
Mike and I watched Coco together last year.
We both
I cried.
We were,
I've never cried.
bawling.
Yep.
And we were in the back of the movie theater with a couple of friends of ours,
And like I won't spoil that in the movie because you all need to go see it now.
It's really
Stare
good.
right into the camera.
But no, I'm serious. It's worth it. It is. But we were after the movie ended, we sat there for probably 10 minutes crying.
The worst part about that is I worked at this movie theater, so we waited for the credits roll because we were crying, and I didn't want to go out and like embarrass myself in front of the employees that I worked with. But the ushers came in to start cleaning the theater, and I was just I was trying to hide myself. Yeah, it was humiliating, but totally worth it because that movie was very, very good.
For me, well, let's start with Netflix. I'm also watching Grey's Anatomy. I'm a little farther than her, and it's become all I do. I can't stop watching because it is addicting. It's like a drug. But for movies, Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy.
Okay.
I'm rewatching it right now with my roommates, and I think I've watched that movie over 100 times in my life, if not more. Like it's one of those every car ride movies. Like
Yeah.
so, yeah. Yeah, that would be it. That would
Lord
be
of the
it.
Rings,
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy, like the two far ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Similar.
It's the drama. No, I'm serious. It's the social drama. I'm just like, oh god, I can't stop watching. How does it resolve?
Yeah.
For Netflix, I say The Office is my
Yeah.
go-to.
Yeah.
Top 2 movies of all time: Big Daddy and Moana.
Yeah.
Moana.
I love those.
Oh, Moana's great
Yeah,
music.
really good movie.
I've watched those each like 1,000 times.
Each of those
Oh, yeah.
sometimes,
It's at least.
The Office is like a summer show for me. I watch it every summer, like
Really?
without doubt. Yeah. And Parks and Rec too. Yeah.
Those
Parks and
shows
Rec.
have like the most rewatchability of anything ever.
So true, honestly. That and like It's Always Sunny, I'll always watch like It's Always Sunny.
He went to my high school, Charlie Day.
Yeah,
I met him. It was a very interesting experience.
Is he as short as he looks?
Oh my god, he's shorter.
Wow.
It's really funny. He's like he's brilliant, he's hilarious, and he's very small.
Yeah. The trio.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've already talked a little about like favorite bands, favorite movies. I'm interested, if you could time travel at any time, I'm interested especially you as an English major, because I think that might be a little bit like, but where would you guys travel to? Or what time?
Probably the 90s. I went through like a huge grunge phase, like
Red Hot Chili
still,
Peppers,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So like,
Still in it.
yeah, all of like most of my favorite musicians like had their uprising in the 90s. So
Yeah.
like I would just go to every single concert I possibly could because I can't now.
Right.
They don't.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd probably be it for me.
Okay, yeah. Jared?
I would probably travel back so that like I would grow up in the '60s.
Okay.
I grew up on a lot of that classic music. I think back then there was so much more discovery still left in the world. Like we hadn't put anyone in space yet, and it was just like there was just so much more like mystery to life. I just feel like that mystery of life is gone now. So I would say the '60s for sure. I like the music back then. So.
What you guys don't know is that we almost named our album The Final Frontier.
Yeah. Which was
we made a lot of space jokes when we first met.
Yeah.
See, I want to give you an English major answer, but if I'm being honest, I would probably go back to so I would grow up in the 80s and 90s just because, I spent my entire life trying to pretend like I was in the 80s and the 90s, and so if I could just do that and not be weird about it, I would like that. Yeah. And plus, that's when all of the music that I listened to came out, and I would love to be able to just experience it and be a part of it. So.
Right. Okay, so I guess I'm getting to you, I promise. But for you two, so you said that you wanted, not you, I'm sorry. You wanted to go to a concert like within the 80s and 90s. What concert would you go to?
Oh God.
Like, yeah, I can get back to you in like.
Can we do this in 5 minutes so I can?
5 minutes. Yeah,
After
I'll time it. Yeah. Okay.
I can't give you one, but I could do Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Nirvana, probably a Green Day concert.
Yeah.
But there's more I'm not thinking of, but all of those sorts, because most of them are either passed away or don't really perform much anymore. So.
I mean, you could go see Green Day the musical, but I don't know.
It was. How did you feel about Green Day the musical?
I didn't get to see it. I just listened to the soundtrack, but.
I did see it, and it was a lot actually. It was pretty heavy when watching them perform it, but it was amazing. I really liked it. Yeah. My friend actually saw it on Broadway, and Billy Joe played the lead role. And he said it was one of the most moving experiences of his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he grew up with me. All we did was watch Bullet in the Bible by Green Day on repeat all the time. So, but Actually, if I could pick a concert, this is a weird one, but I would go see Boston because really love Boston, and I have since I was a little kid because it's my dad's favorite band, and
It's my dad's favorite band too.
oh, no way.
Hi, Dad. He's watching this.
Hello. Great band.
His name is Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
I'm glad you like Boston. But yeah, I just want to see them play more than a feeling live. To be honest with you, I could die knowing I saw that.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry. We're back.
I would also say the 90s solely because I feel like that's when Nickelodeon was most popping.
Nice, dude.
That's
Nice.
That, and I'd probably go back and see Backstreet Boys. Big Backstreet Boys.
I love the
fan.
Backstreet Boys.
Can I shake
I'll see them a couple times. But just be in the moment.
This will be in the moment.
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys.
Understand.
I did the same. I love both of them. Okay, so I think that's like pretty much I have everything for you guys. It's been about 45 minutes. So if you guys want to go start setting up for the live set and everything like that, and unless you guys have any closing things you want to talk about. Oh yeah, you're releasing something.
Yeah, or just really quick, we could talk about some music we're releasing soon.
Yeah.
So we don't have a set date because the producer that we worked with, he's still working on the music. But we're thinking at the end of this month we're gonna have our first song out from the new EP.
And there might be a video with it too.
Oh wow.
Possibly.
Maybe.
We totally don't have that video yet. Yeah.
You guys didn't.
You heard it here first.
No, we don't.
You
I mean,
heard it here first.
Yeah, so I think we can release the song name. That's cool, right? So
Yeah.
the first song we're gonna release is called Burn.
You guys are
Okay.
gonna hear it today, actually.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, so we're gonna play we're probably gonna play most of the new music today as well. So, but yeah, we're gonna be releasing that probably early next year, the full EP.
Sweet.
Yep.
Have you guys played it yet live or?
We have.
Yeah.
I think we have actually played all of our new music at least once live.
Last Raven show, I think.
At the last show we played at the Raven, I think we played all of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, people seem to like it so far. So I'm interested to see what you guys think about it.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. All right. So this has been Planet Mercury, and my name's Gabby. This has been Acoustic Sundays. We will be right back with their actual live set gig. So.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So the podcast for now.